Good day, good day, good day. We trust it's a good day for you. Right here at Transformation Theater Productions presents Gifts from God. And we trust that you're not being conformed to this world, but you're being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I am happy to have with me today a lady who knows about the will of God, especially in her life. She is a pastor. She's an international speaker. She's a teacher, life coach, producer, writer, director, mother, grandmother, friend, child of God, and now a media mogul right here on the Power Up TV network. And it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Dr. Marci Bryant.
Well, hello. With that introduction, oh my gosh, I was wondering who's he talking about today? Oh, this is wonderful to be here. I'm glad you invited me to come along on this particular journey on this particular day.
I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a lot of years.
Oh, yes.
And as a matter of fact, it goes back to an audition for one of your plays called One Bright Hope.
Oh, and I remember that audition as well as if it was yesterday.
And I thank you for putting up with me because I was scared to death.
Oh, now I would have never, ever guessed that. I mean, it looked like you had been doing plays and being on stage for years and years and years.
But I want to jump right into the interview.
Okay.
Pastor Marci, when did you first discover your talent for writing?
Okay. When did I discover? Well, I think I was in my early 20s when I discovered that I had a talent for writing. It started out, believe it or not, with a poem that I read when I was 16 years old. And for some reason, it just stuck with me. And it simply went, I saw a little bird. It flew across the sky. It landed in a tree on a branch way up high. It chirped a little tune as it walked across that tree, and I, its only audience, it was singing just for me. And somehow that poem spoke to me, and I started writing poetry because that was the way that I expressed myself when I was happy, when I was sad, when I was lonely, when I was upset, when I felt that nobody cared. I would pick up a pen and I would write, and that seemed to help me feel better.
All
And I
right. Praise
started
God
doing that
for
when I was about 16 years old.
praise God for the little birds.
Oh yes.
Amen.
Yes. And it's funny, and I still remember that poem after all these years,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know where I read it. I don't, but I still have it committed to memory.
All right. And what has been the inspiration behind some of the plays that you have written? I know we have One Bright Hope, Sister Ire, The Bitter Cup,
Mm-hmm.
Black History on Parade.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Okay, starting with One Bright Hope, since that one was the first one out of the starting gate. I felt the need at that particular time in my life to write to people who were in despair, that they had either given up on their
Mm,
goals, they'd given up on their families, they'd given up on their
wow.
dreams. They felt like nothing good is going to happen to them. And so I wanted to put a mixture of things happening on one side of the fence that was very good, but at the same time, I wanted it to show the audience that even though something good was happening, there was a price to pay for that good. In other words, I like to write for the moral consciousness of people, not just one side of the story. I want to write, okay, this is good, but this is not so good. And I want people to find themselves and see that they have to make choices that are best for them. And that was
Mm.
the story behind One Bright Hope. Now, as far as the bitter cup, the story behind that, again, to speak to people's moral consciousness, to let them know how, even though things look bad, you can come together in love, and as a family, you can forgive, and you can um, work out your problems and your differences and have a happy ending. Black History on Parade was, I was always fascinated about what I learned about Black history. And I got the idea one day to make it a parade, to have, to start with one incident and then take it all the way to the end and do it like people can watch it going down the street and they don't leave it.
Mm.
And I was getting a lot of great compliments about my doing it that way, because many history teachers, since it was done in high schools, many history teachers told me that they could never get their class's attention when they were talking about Black history, because it seemed like something that just didn't interest them. But yet, looking at it as a parade on an assembly program, they said it changed the whole diadem. It changed everything. The kids were coming back to class asking questions about all these Black history people. So,
All
and
right.
of course, Sister Ayer. Um, I don't know. It's a funny show, but it's a but at the same time, the message there is you've got to be careful how you treat people, because if you
Yes.
don't treat them right, it's going to come back to you. In other words, what a man soweth, that he shall reap. And again, I speak to the moral consciousness of people. I want people to see themselves. I want them to be able to make a decision to go the right way, do the right thing, to follow their dreams, whatever.
Well, you have touched a lot of lives, and I'm
So I'm
grateful.
told.
Will you be bringing any of those productions back to the public?
Yes. In fact, I'm working on that right now. I want One Bright Hope to come back again, because truly I want to put up One Bright Hope 2, which has never been on the stage yet.
Hmm.
It's been written, and I want people to see the beginning of the story, what happened to this family, and then I want them to see in the second portion of the story, how the family um, healed from what happened the first time around. So I am definitely going to put up One Bright Hope 2, and the goal is to do it by the first of the year 2025. I want to do that. And Sister Ayer is a very popular show, so
Hmm.
I want to keep Sister Ayer going as long as people want to see it. Now, as far as the Bitter Cup and Black History on Parade, I'm working on getting them an audience in 2025.
All right. Well,
And I
prayerfully.
have another play that's going to come to stage hopefully by the summer of next year, and that's called The Hellbound Train. No one has seen that one yet either, but that's a good
All
one.
right.
It's about a bad boy, or I should say, a young man who got started off in life doing a lot of things that were not good, being in trouble all the time, and he was being raised by his grandmother. She was doing the very best she could, but it just wasn't good enough. And then, um, the storyline is that because he didn't come out of doing all of this bad stuff, he ended up on a train that was bound for hell.
Mm, my goodness.
And there were no
Well,
stops along the way. But what's interesting about the story is, if just think about this for a moment. If a person is on their way to hell and they're on a train and there are no stops in between, what happens if they have a heart change? What happens? How do they get to Jesus? Because the
mm,
train makes no stops.
yes.
All
Interesting.
aboard, one stop, hell.
Wow.
And so
Sounds
my goal is, yeah, my goal is to have that on stage by mid 2025.
okay. As a writer, how do you feel when you see your works come to life on stage?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Okay, it draws me to the people that are on stage making what I have written come to life. It attaches me to those folks because they make what I have written real. I know in my mind what I'm trying to convey to an audience, but it's
Mm-hmm.
the people that actually make it come to life. So I make certain that they understand the character that I'm asking them to play. Because if they understand the character, I have found that they do an excellent job. But if they don't understand the character, then it it means I either have to work with them a little bit more or I have to get someone else to do it. But watching it come alive through other people, it just makes me so grateful that God is using me in this way because honestly, I couldn't move audiences on my own. I've had men and women and even older ones, middle age, young, even children actually in the audience crying because it was so real to them. And every
Mm.
time I see it, and I wrote it, it becomes more personable for me. It becomes more real for me. And then to watch the audience's reaction to it, I can't tell you what that does to me. All I can do is sit there and say, Lord, I thank you for taking me down this path and giving me this way to express myself, and that it does impact the lives of others.
Well, as an actor, I thank you for putting pen to paper.
I'm glad to. Well, let me tell you, one good thing about that is I remember there was a time along the way where I took my writings before one of the first publications came out to a teacher, a professor at a college, and they gave me a bad review and said that my writing what, how I couldn't call myself a writer. It doesn't make sense to
Mm.
him. And I remember the mentor that I had in my life at that time. I left that classroom crying, and I went to my mentor, and they gave me the most beautiful words. Who is he to tell you that you can't write? What
There
what
you go.
makes him the authority? You felt good about what you had written before you showed it to him. Why is one person's opinion going to stop you from doing what's in you to do? You've been writing since you were 16 years old. At that particular time I was in my mid 20s. And you've been writing since you were 16 years old, and then you're going to let what one person has to say sway you from believing in yourself. And so he said, I wouldn't do it. He said, you go back out there and you show the world who you are and what you have. I encourage you to keep on writing.
All right. And we're going to be right back with more from Reverend Dr. Marci Bryant in just a moment. On these cold mornings and cool evenings, I like to have my favorite beverage right here in my Transformation Theater cup. Just the way I like it. And you can, if you like it, you can get yours at ttpchrist.com. And not only do we have a mug, but we also have sweatshirts. TTP Christ. And we want to welcome you back to Transformation Theater Products Presents Gifts from God with our guest today, Reverend Dr. Marci Bryant. Not only is she a gifted playwright, but she is also a certified life coach. And I was wondering, Dr. Marci, if you could tell us a little bit about that aspect.
Okay. Um, Becoming a life coach was something that found me. Someone was looking for a person to join their team, their life coaching team. many, many years ago, and they found me on LinkedIn, contacted me, and I knew very little about that particular industry at the time. So I did some research, and then I decided that I would give it a whirl after they told me that if I didn't like it, because they'd already researched me, they said, if you don't think this is a right or a good fit for you, then we won't bother you anymore. Well, after 2 weeks in class, I decided that yes, it really works because it went down the road. I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer anyway by profession.
Hmm.
And of course, I like to write and to deal with moral consciousness. And, uh, and what life coaching is all about is helping people find themselves or redefine who they are and what they are. Because see, we believe in life coaching is that the problems that people experience along with the solutions for that problem lie with them. They don't have to run to every Mary Jane or Sue or Tom, Dick, and Harry in order to find out how to fix what's keeping them from the accomplishments that they want,
Okay.
or what's holding them back from being all they want to be. The coaching skills help us partner with individuals to help them discover what's really in the way, because a lot of times people have covered up the problem so long that consciously they don't even know what
Hmm.
the problem is. They think it's other people, and sometimes it might be, but then there are many times that the problem is them and they can't see it because they've been dealing with it for so long. So we help take the layers away from what's going on and help them see clearly or more clearly what they need to do in order to accomplish what they want to accomplish in life. And when I found that that really works, the skills that we were taught and how we are to walk with individuals and help them discover what's going on and what can change in their lives, and that they hold a key to making it happen. When I saw that manifesting itself, then that helped me also decide that this could be an area that I could operate on and operate in, I'm sorry, and help people in their lives. And that has also been a very successful journey for me. So I do these things, the playwriting and the life coaching, and of
Life
course
coaching.
ministry.
Mhm.
I do those things side by side.
Your whole life is a blessing to other folks who uh, watch your work, who have that one-on-one contact with you. And it's a pleasure to know you.
Oh, bless your
And
heart.
you
Thank you.
also have BVT Ministries, Building the Virtuous Temple.
Yes. And I tried to run away from it. I will tell people the ministry got started in 1994. And I personally did not believe that God was calling me to the ministry. I said, there's no way, because I had been erroneously taught that God didn't call women to the ministry. So therefore, I was ignoring the call. And I remember this young man named Leander Morris, and he was telling me
Mhm.
one day that there are some people that are gifted from God in more than one way. And he said, Marcy, since I've known you, you have been gifted by God with many gifts. And if the pond that you're in will not allow you to use the gifts that God has given you, then you find the pond that will. And those words didn't have impact on me until the day after he said them to me. And that's because the day after he said them, he died. And the
Hmm.
last words I remember him saying to me, if the pond you're in will not allow you to use all these gifts that God have given you, then you find the pond that will. And so what happened was I did that. I took his words to heart, and I started looking for the ponds that would allow me to write my books, that would have me to do my plays, that would help me with grow the ministry and dealing with the life coaching. And and all of them have just absolutely blossomed. And it was all I could do is give God the glory because I didn't see those things in me initially. I just knew that I wanted to express myself and that I wanted to help other people express themselves.
Okay. Wow. And here you are, a media mogul
Oh yeah,
with the
that's not.
Power Up TV network.
Well, well, there's a funny little story behind that. God actually gave that vision to me in a dream, and I was having a conversation with God, saying that this is a media that so many people need to be involved in, to help their brand get known and to be expanded. And yet it is a medium that the average person just can't afford to go in. I said, Lord, I would love to be able to help individuals in this particular area. I would love to help. People who wouldn't otherwise get the opportunity to expand their gifts, their talents,
Mhm.
whatever you've put in their hands. And God said, okay, I'm going to give you that opportunity. He said, you've been out here a long time and I've opened many doors for you. Now, since your heart's desire is to open doors for other people, then I'm going to set it in your hand. And so he showed me a big uh, television network and he said, you're going to get your own TV network. So I was a little happy about that. I woke up and then I went and did some research when I woke up because God had told me, I'm going to give you, let you have your own TV network. And when
Mhm.
I did the research to find out what was involved in having your own television network, all that joy that I woke up with just went right down the drain. I said, there's no way. There is no way. I did not see that that was something that I could do, would do. I felt like everything that I needed to make it happen, I didn't have. And I just wanted to run away from it. But God had people in my life that had walked with me for years and that knew me personally, that when I shared this information with them, that their words to me meant something as well because they told me that we've seen you walk on twigs, so to speak. We've seen you make things happen when nobody thought you could. We've seen all this work come to pass that you rolled up your sleeves and did the work that was necessary. What makes this so difficult? Well, one of the things, of course, was finances. And then there was a lot about this industry that I didn't know um, technically, you know. And then God opened my eyes to how many people do you know that have the skills that you have worked with over the years that
Mhm.
know what you don't know, that you have a relationship with. Long story short, God allowed the people that I needed to be involved with to join, come along beside me, and join this travel or this particular journey. And I was like surprised on the one hand that they would have time with me, that would take the time that was necessary since I knew so little about the business side of it. But at the other side, God allowed the money that I needed to go down this road. God allowed it to come to me, to be placed in my hands. And then I
Okay.
didn't hear an audible voice, but I heard the voice spiritually say, now tell me that you can't go forth on this journey to help the people that you said you want to help. Now tell me you can't do it. I've sent you everything you need to get started. All you have to do now is walk by faith and not by
Okay.
sight. And I took those steps of faith. And on October the 30th, the Power Up TV network became a reality.
Amen. And we want to give thanks to the man behind the technical aspects that
Yes, we
makes all the
do.
magic happen, Mr. Ed
Hmm.
Groves.
Oh, yes. I've known him for years. for years, and he has always been there helping me, showing me things that I need to know. And he never seems to get tired. I think he deals with people as who they are. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
try to make them somebody they're not. What if he's dealing with you, he knows how to talk to you to get you to do whatever it is he needs you to do. He does that with me. He knows what he's dealing with, and he'll get me to hear what he's saying and do what I need to do. And everybody, I think, needs people in our lives like that, dealing with who we are, and not trying to put us in a basket and make us understand it, their way. But he helps us
Mm-hmm.
to understand. At least he helps me.
With our last couple of minutes, how can someone reach you? I know that you're a published author,
Yes,
and uh, some of your books of poetry and self-help books.
yes. I have a lot of. I have 7 books out there, and they can reach me by my email, of course, which is Bryant, which is my last name, Bryant. Period. Met at gmail.com. And they can also reach me by 302-893-4018. And they can also go to my website, Power Up, the number 4, success.com, or poweruptvnetwork.com.
All
Either
right.
one of those will reach me, and I will get back to them if with regard to whatever it is that they're interested in. If they're interested in the plays, if they're interested in the life coaching, if they're interested in um, writing a book, getting published, whatever, I can help.
Okay. With our last couple of minutes, what are some of
Seconds.
the goals that you have for the Power Up TV network?
I want to see people's lives changed, and I want to see ordinary people accomplishing extraordinary things. I want to give them a platform where they voice can be heard, and what gifts God has given them can benefit the lives of others.
All right. Well, I thank you for joining us today. I feel honored, privileged uh, to have a chance to interview you and know you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was my joy and my pleasure.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, right here on the Power Up TV network,